I would ask that same question. I just don't know how to, skin the cat anymore. I mean, we're kind of looking at the concept of maybe furniture or, what can we save, what we can use, but there's, there's no site work in here. I bet it's kind of written in here. I don't know how much site work, we need to talk to a civil engineer. Is there something, this site is a little, there's things about the site that I don't know about. Maybe I don't know. The stone makes me nervous. I like the fact that it's stone, so it may not require intensive foundation. But we need to have something more than these guys. I've sent this out to Martin Construction Company. They have looked into this. They came back $1,050,000. That's what they came back with. So we're in the ballpark, but we don't have the details yet.
Ron, I had spoken when we had the last library board meeting. One of the questions that I asked you was, had you done a Carnegie Library where you actually incorporated the basement, where maybe you didn't have the ability to add an addition off the back, and you thought that you might kind of look that up, and I wondered if you had a chance to investigate that a little bit.
Major renovations, such as where we spent a lot of money, $4,000 or $5,000, million. I'm sorry. Like if you go to Merrill, if you go there, it's storage. It's the library director. We had to, because she finally decided she couldn't live down there any longer. It was cold, but she lived there for a long time, and she loved her nest down in that basement, and she had all of her furniture, and it was her life. But today we were told, finally the abandoned, damp basement's gone, and she's gone. So it's really a basement. It's for coal. I mean, what do you want to put in your, if you're at home, what do you put in your basement? You don't put people down if you can avoid it, especially little kids. Daylight, natural daylight's very important. We're very neat architects. We thrive on natural daylight. I don't want my kid in the basement. And there's, all I can think of, which is good down there, is compact shelving. Compact shelving takes an extra 100, and it's very heavy. It works beautifully in the basement. What it does is it allows you to build less square footage and retain a certain collection count. But you can have the extra, Jane Austen book downstairs. You don't have to have two Jane Austens up here.
So have you ever seen that type of bookshelf where you roll it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's on wheels. It's on a roller, and it's like six long, it's like 18 feet long. They roll very easily. They're not frightening. They're reasonable to buy, and you can put thousands of books on there. You can also file boxes in there. So you saw the boxes downstairs, all the stuff for friends. Get them in an order so that they're not piled down like that. That's what I put in the basement.
So very space efficient.
Very space. And then you don't maybe have this book, this very tall thing here. This is kind of annoying, in all reality, because it kind of messes up the space, and it's very, very tall. It would be nicer if we could go lower, make this room more of a living room where we could kind of sit together and have any kind of books that we, better stored very handy downstairs.
You don't feel with the grade out to the street out here that a grade entrance level could be brought in to the basement and make the basement the primary space, and this be kind of the attractive retreat, classic original space? I mean, you just don't see there's no vision there for that you can see.
I don't understand how you can afford to staff it. How can you staff 2 levels of a library that's this small? You're doing it right now, and that's probably not a good use of the staffing time. You want your staff to be, in a library this small, you want your staff to be right there. And if you need to do something, you need to go out, she has to find somebody to substitute out. Struggling with that basement is a struggle. You continue to struggle. I'm going to tell you right now, no. I don't see any reason why we should continue to try to put people in the bull bin. It's not first class. It's not making Ironwood any more famous than it is. Seriously. You need to spend money so you get public reaction in a positive manner for future investment in other areas of Main Street. That's very important. People are traveling all over the place and seeing libraries. They compare very quickly. Have you seen? Visitors come here for 3 months out of the year. Have you seen Ironwood? So, it's kind of important that you keep up. We're not keeping up.
This project would not really utilize the front door. You would be making this the primary front door.
In all reality, most of our Carnegie libraries, that is a ceremonial door. It is not handicap accessible. I don't care. Mr. Carnegie was a very nice man, but he was also, you read his biographies, he's not a very nice man. But he wanted American kids to walk up those steps to culture, because they were kids out in the middle of nowhere, no wild animals, so to speak. They weren't being educated. Walk up to culture, struggle up those stairs, walk through those big columns, and enter this room and see a Tiffany dome. So you come to Chicago, you've seen this beautiful thing in a very small town. You've seen something, you know something now. Plus you can get an education here. There's a book for you to read free. If we hadn't had this, can you imagine where our society would have been? I mean, this was an incredible change to how many hundreds of small towns, including Ironwood, over 100 years ago. If you go back in the history of your town, what were the kids doing back then for education? This was and your forefathers probably sat around somebody placed down in one of these old buildings, thought it up. We better, I don't think you have the phone yet, but we better get a hold of Mr. Carnegie, and somebody's organized it. Your great-grandfathers, they had the vision and the organizational skills to get a hold of Andrew Carnegie in Philadelphia, convince him they were worthy of his, $15 million